Wizards Nation, what's good, everybody? I figured I should join the stream or hop on stream because a new mock draft was just dropped yesterday by Bleacher Report. And I haven't done a video solely on the mock drafts, looks like since late November. So, figured we should chop it up regarding the mock draft. I feel like there's a couple of updates that I should share with you guys regarding some of these top prospects that we're all coveting. Because let's face it, this is what we're living for right now. Come freaking May of next year, we are all going to be shaking in our boots with the lottery. Anyways, also, like I said, I don't know if I said it. I literally just woke up. I hope everybody has a safe and sound New Year's tonight. We play the Bucks at 8 p.m. So the game's going to end like around 10:30. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go on stream tonight. Like I said, I'm going to be out and about with my girlfriend's family. So if I'm streaming tonight at 10:30, it means something went horribly wrong. I'm in a doghouse and I should be shunned. So most likely I'm not going to stream. I shouldn't. I don't think I'm going to stream. But anyways, so this is the mock draft. Granted, before we start, this is where we currently stand at with the lottery odds. Right now we have the second worst record, 7-24. Granted, the Clippers have been winning. They are on a 5-game winning streak. Everybody else around us, the Pelicans are again on a 4-game losing streak. The freaking Pacers are on a 9-game losing streak. But, I like to see that these teams, especially the Clippers, are starting to distance themselves from us. We play the Nets on Friday, so that's another big game right there. Granted, the Nets have been playing better as of late. But yeah, this is where we currently stand. You see, like, if we win, we're going to be tied, like in a 3-way tie with the Pelicans and the Kings. So, it's pretty much a close race right now. I still believe that the Pelicans are going to distance themselves in the near future. Because, again, they don't have an incentive to lose this year. Their pick is going to the Hawks. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do a win-now trade or something like that. You know what I mean? Jordan Poole recently came back. I don't know. Hopefully Jordan Poole can help him out. Hold on. Let me turn this thing on real quick. So that's where we currently stand right now. The Pacers, man, they were... Hold on. The Pacers were on a winning streak about 3 weeks ago. Now they're in a 9-game losing streak. Aaron Neesmith hopefully comes back and helps them out, but... Jeez, man. The Pacers are annoying. Anyways, this is where we currently stand right now. This is the mock draft, y'all. Locked On Law says Cam Boozer. So, they're basically going off of right now with the worst record in the league. Obviously, this is going to change with the lottery. But the Pacers have the first overall pick, and they are taking Darren Peterson. The pro comp for Darren Peterson is Anthony Edwards. Unfortunately, Peterson hasn't played that many games this year due to his hamstring. Hasn't been able to showcase his generational talent, apparently. They said he's the best guard prospect since Kobe. The best prospect in the past, but best guard prospect in the past. I don't know. I just keep reading reports that he's just been glazed supremely. Says here, I don't know. Remember the Kyrie Irving situation where he barely played that season at Duke? Was it Duke? Yeah, I think it was Duke. And he still went number 1 overall. Could that same happen with Darren Peterson? Perhaps. You know what I mean? But y'all let me know what that. The guy right now they have us taking is Cam Boozer. All right? Boozer, out of the top 3, because number 3 is Dybantsa. And lately, Dybantsa's been number 2. I've actually seen Dybantsa at number 1, y'all. Dybantsa has been balling. We'll get to Dybantsa later. Let's get to Boozer. Boozer, though, for some reason, this is just my opinion. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like he's been not underrated because he's a top 3 in this heavily stacked draft. I feel like he's been a bit overlooked. We see Dybantsa with the flashy athleticism plays, the dunks, and everything like that. We know about Peterson. highly touted coming in. But Boozer, who was also highly touted, he's having a dominant season, y'all. They said here, some scouts have Cam Boozer at number 1. The believers are willing to bet on his skill, intangibles, and ability to problem solve the challenges that come with lacking explosiveness. Other scouts have Boozer at number 3, with Peterson and Dybantsa owning the archetypes and translatable creation and shot making that are simply too tempting. Now for us, the Wizards figured to be a team that sees an ideal fit for Boozer, who could play obviously in front of Alex Sarr's rim protection and add a different element of physicality around the interior. We already know this, and I've been saying this, and I feel like a lot of us have been saying this. Boozer is a perfect complement to Alex Sarr in the front court. Perfect. He was built to be Sarr's front court mate. Anyway, let me just finish reading this right here. Aside from the expected production around the basket, it's been his shot making, face-up footwork, and passing that have popped most and eased concerns over his athletic limitations and fit. I will also add in there his defensive versatility as well. Let me read in here. So far, he's been tested more than both Peterson and Dybantsa with matchups against Kansas, Arkansas, Florida, Michigan State, and Texas Tech. And in those games, he's averaging 24.6 points, 9.8 rebounds, 4.4 assists with 7 threes, y'all. 7 threes. I think they show his stats right here. Oh, they're not showing his stats. I'm going to say it again. I think Boozer's been he's been a bit overlooked. And that's crazy. That's crazy to say. It's crazy because he has been dominating. But Dybantsa has been taking all the hype, and rightfully so. Peterson had all the hype coming in. He's looked really solid in those 4 games. Was it 4 games he's played? They said here. But, with that hammy injury, I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I feel like most of us, we just want a top 3 pick and we want to move forward with our lives. That's all we want. Base Maryland, I'm going to get to that in a bit. Harkenstein is my dream scenario in free agency, y'all. You come from OKC to OKC East with us. Hartenstein, he's only 27 years old, and there's actually a chance because there's a team option deal with him. But primarily, obviously, the Thunder would want to keep him, but the Thunder have cap space issues right now. But I still say dream pipe scenario because I feel like the Thunder are going to find a way to keep him, but there's still a chance with him. Anyways, now let's go to us. Oh, wait, no, that was us. My bad. At 3, Dybantsa. Before I read Dybantsa's stats or Dybantsa's the rationale here for why he's going 3, I want to state this to you guys. We've seen Dawkins. So my mind is blanking right now. We've seen Dawkins covet these athletic wings since he's taken over. Balak Coulibaly, first draft pick. You know what I mean? Cam Whitmore, damn near. He wanted Ace Bailey last year, y'all. He wanted Ace Bailey. I'd like to think that Dybantsa is going to be coveted by Dawkins. And this is just me speculating. Considering his draft history, who he's, coveted in the past 3 years with us. Well, this is going to be, yeah. So, just keep that in mind. To me, I'm a BPA guy. Take the BPA. Whoever's on the board, BPA, no matter what. Even though we're stacked at the wing, Dybantsa coming in here, he'll collapse the defense for us. I keep telling people, obviously we need a point guard who can collapse the defense, apply rim pressure. We just need a gravity player, y'all. A guy like Dybantsa, he'll be our powerhouse, collapses the defense. Then you could put Bub out there with Trey Johnson at the backcourt. You know what I mean? 2 sharpshooters, 3-point specialists, space the floor out for Dybantsa. And then you got Keyshawn George at the 3. You know what I mean? Dude, and we're cooking. We're cooking with that. Anyways, I'm over here getting excited. They're saying with the Dybantsa, The idea of Dybantsa falling to 3 seems even tougher to fathom at the moment after his most recent stretch. I agree, man. I don't know. Where do you guys have Dybantsa? Because I kind of feel like he's number 2. But that's just me. That's just me. I've even seen drafts have him going number 1 over Peterson, which is crazy. But, I don't think Peterson's going to fall to 3. I think Peterson, the lowest he'll fall is 2. But Lockdown Law says if they draft Dybantsa, Bilal is a wasted pick. I don't know. I still think Bilal, he'll be the guy off the bench. I still believe that Bilal will have a key role moving forward, though. But we'll see, though. Anyways, because you need wings in this league, man. Yeah. I'm not off the Bilal hype train. I'm not. Anyways, they're saying here he's owning BYU's weaker opponents lately. Him being AJ Dybantsa, most recently going for a 33-point triple-double against Eastern Washington. I was looking at that game and I was just like, holy hell. This dude's a freaking stud. A T-Mac clone, Tracy McGrady clone, man. Let's see here. The defenders continue to look overwhelmed by his unique size and power for a wing, while his mid-range shot making helps counters drop coverage or clogged lanes. 9 2-point field goals and 17 made free throws earned him 35 points against Abilene Christian. Just playing to his strengths as a driver and elbow shot corner scorer, he continues to create advantages and high-quality looks for himself in the half court. Dybantsa hasn't shown much three-point range this year. He is 9 of 30 as of right now. 9 of 30 from the 3. And he does lean on physicality often, although that's because it's been so effective. Boozer's shooting, passing, rebounding, and superior defensive metrics could create more versatility and a slight edge depending on what team is on the clock. So that's what their rationale is for having Boozer going above Dybantsa in this mock draft. Now, you know what's okay, so I'm going to state this. This is the top tier. The top tier is Peterson, Dybantsa, and Boozer. Honestly, they're BPA, but any one of these 3 dudes would fit here like a glove, in my opinion. Like a glove. The fact that Dybantsa's a guy who can collapse the defense, that's his primary thing, has me feeling like he could fit here like a glove. Could just imagine just having Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson in the backcourt. Don't worry about Bub Carrington and his rim pressure not being what we would want it to be for a starting point guard. We'll get that with Dybantsa instead, and Bub Carrington being that 3-point specialist that he is, shooting 44% from the 3 this year. Bub Carrington is. We already know about Trey Johnson. Space the floor for Dybantsa. Keyshawn George as well, another guy who's shooting 40% from the 3 this year. Alex Sarr, I believe last time I checked, was shooting 37% from the 3 this year. That's like a match made in heaven right there. Y'all talking about Bilal looks like AJ is fairly similar to DeMar or Jaylen Brown. I would compare him more to Jaylen Brown, to be honest. And they have him here, Jaylen Brown as well, as his comparison. Anyways, let's move forward. Caleb Wilson. Now, this is the beginning of Tier 2. Caleb Wilson, who, if we get scorned, he's my top guy. If we get scorned and we don't get a top 3 pick, he is my top guy. They compare him to Jermaine O'Neal. Here. 6'10", 215 pounds. Another guy who is an ideal front court mate to Alex Sarr. Caleb Wilson, a supremely athletic 6'10", 215 built, only 19 years old. They're saying here, ultra bouncy, quick defensively. Caleb Wilson will clearly give the Sacramento Kings, the Kings in this mock draft, the tape from game to game appears the same. He's consistently earning himself easy baskets and offensive boards off the combination of quickness, bounce, and motor. He currently leads the nation in dunks. Caleb Wilson does. Though it's worth noting that he's converting just 38% of his layups. an oddly known number that highlights lack of a feel going up in traffic. However, his shot making around the key has been a plus that's elevated him as a scoring threat, and he's averaging 2.3 assists, demonstrating IQ and vision in passing situations. It's still difficult to imagine Wilson cracking the top 3. I agree with that. But I think Wilson is most likely going to be cemented as number 4. Granted, things can change. But that's Caleb Wilson. You know, dude, something about Caleb Wilson that I feel like, so I don't know if some of y'all know this, but like this dude is also wired straight. I can see also Will Dawkins coveting Caleb Wilson if he were to be scorned. Caleb Wilson said this, that I believe it was early on in the season, that he felt supremely disrespected, that all the hype is going to, the top 3, Dybantsa, Peterson, Boozer, and he's not included in that aspect. Like, this guy he wants to be great. Like, he has that dog in him. A very solid rebounder. I believe he's averaging 10 rebounds this year so far. Would help Sarr in that department. Dude, I think he's also a perfect front court mate to Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is a guy who can fit in with mostly anybody, honestly. Yeah, that's Caleb Wilson. Rich Reloaded beat me to it because, like I said in a couple streams ago, I think now Jaden Quaintance, I feel like I'm saying his last name wrong. My apologies. Jaden Quaintance is now going to be a guy who might solidify himself being number 5. And this is a guy where I talked about in the last stream, it was like a week ago. I was just like, he also will be a great fit to Alex Sarr. How many times I got to say that? You know what I mean? This is a perfect draft to find the ideal future front court mate to Alex Sarr, because God bless Keyshawn, and I love Keyshawn, and I think Keyshawn could definitely play the floor moving forward. But imagine Keyshawn at the 3. I love Key. And this is no slight towards Key. Y'all know me. I'm a Keyshawn George super fan. But anyways, Jaden Quaintance, get familiar with this guy. This is a guy who tore his ACL in February. Coming back, he was highly touted. Highly touted. They compare him to Bam Adebayo right here. I see flashes of Jalen Duren, y'all. Jalen Duren, who's having an all-star type year with the Pistons this year, averaging, I believe, 18 and 11. This is the guy. People want Hartenstein, and obviously where we land in the draft and who we pick is going to dictate what we do in free agency. But, this is the guy who's going to be, he's 6'10", 255 pounds, a defensive powerhouse, great rebounder, rim protector, can even switch out a bit. Let me just say, any Supermax player can look elsewhere. Let me read what you're all saying. Do you have an opinion about Trae Young? I don't want to hear about Trae Young, to be honest with you, until after the lottery. Like I said, us trading for any star player, I don't want to hear. Not that I don't want to hear about it. Respect to Trae Young, I'm just not interested. I want to see where we land. Let's say we get Darren Peterson. What would we need Trae Young for? You know what I mean? But I hear you with that. Let me just read what they're saying about Jaden Quaintance, who, again, see, with this draft, if we get scorned, I still feel like we're going to get a star type player. Last year's draft, the top 6 we got lucky. The fact that Trey Johnson fell to us, but they're saying here with Jaden, 2 Jadens in the DMV. I know y'all like that. They're saying, obviously, we're talking about less than a year removed from his ACL tear. The 18-year-old big man returned for 17 minutes against St. John's, finishing with 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, and numerous sequences that showed the impact of his tremendous physical tools at both ends of the floor. This guy, before he tore his ACL, even now, and he's going to continue to get better, athletic specimen, y'all. Athletic specimen. That powerhouse that we sorely need as well. Defensive anchor. Top 10 teams will target Quaintance for his defense first. He's strong and long in the paint and gives his man little room to get off clean shots. Last year's 9.8 block percentage looks like a repeatable number and ultimately an indicator with his measurements of an NBA rim protection. Though he's not overly polished yet offensively, Quaintance remains a force around the basket with his size and soft hands, and there have been enough glimpses of shot making and touch that suggest his scoring repertoire will continue to expand. He's also wired straight. I'm telling y'all right now, we've all been pretty much high on even the top four. We'll toss in Caleb Wilson. I know a lot of y'all are really high on Caleb Wilson, but get familiar with Jaden Quaintance, y'all. This is a guy who, if we get scorned and we get him, I'd still be happy. Anyways, now this was like the first update that I wanted to like tell you guys about with Jaden. The second update is the point guard situation, because we know this draft is heavy on point guards, it's deep on point guards, especially top heavy. With Darren Peterson. We've all been on the Mikal Brown Jr. train, myself included. We have been. You know what I mean? But I feel like now Kingston Flemings has overtaken Mikal Brown Jr. Things can change, obviously. Things can change. But Kingston Flemings is now that guy who, when I've been watching his game, they have him here going number 6. And most mock drafts have him going number 6. Even number 5 I saw. When I see him, this is a guy who can play on ball, very, like, on or off ball, actually. Can collapse the defense. I see shades of even, like, Tyrese Maxey with Kingston Flemings. I see shades of even Tyrese Maxey. They're comparing him to George Hill. He's quick, twitchy. But, this is the floor right here with 6. I feel like perhaps the second tier, Caleb Wilson might be on a tier on his own, honestly, with tier 2. And then tier 3 might be Jaden and just Kingston. Or maybe they all end up being just tier 2. I don't know. Y'all let me know with that one. But they're saying here with Kingston Flemings, y'all, even after drafting multiple that's the net stuff, Kingston Fleming's decisive execution and reads have made the production and efficiency numbers appear even more persuasive. He looks ultra polished, creating, separating into pull-ups, using the right touch shots, and setting up teammates after penetrating and reacting to defenses. The analytics back up the eye test, with Flemings being ranked number 3 in the nation in box plus minus, while sporting a true shooting percentage of 67% and a 4.3 steal percentage. NBA teams will see a lead guard with Kingston, but playing alongside Milos Uzan, Flemings has also shown enough comfortability playing off ball, like I said earlier, marking just another key selling point for teams that may have already have a ball handler. If we this is like the ultimate, like, if we get scorned, I'm going after Kingston Flemings. I'm not jumping off the Mikal Brown Jr. train. Mikal Brown Jr. we'll get to him in a bit. But Kingston Flemings is looking like the ideal point guard for us. Let's see what y'all saying. If you have to give Bilal an extension, what price would it be? I made a video about this. I would lowball his ass. I think Bilal deserves to be lowballed. And I want Bilal to be here. I want to lock him up. Well, I want to see more, obviously, for the rest of the season. I would lowball him. They gave Corey Kispert a 4-year, $54 million contract extension. Would that be it? I might be a little bit. I don't. Depends on how he finishes the season. Depends how he finishes the season. 4-year, 54 million. I don't know about that. Maybe 4-year 50. I don't know. Because they'll be banking on his upside. But yeah, let me know what that. But I think that's like a somewhat of a starting point right there. Corey Kispert's contract. Anyways, so that's the top 6, y'all. And the main reason why I wanted to get on stream is I wanted to tell you about Jaden Quaintance and Kingston Flemings. Those two dudes. Again, things can change, obviously. Heading into January, starting tomorrow. Holy hell. But, you know, these two dudes are rising up the draft boards as we speak. The top 4 has been pretty much cemented. It's been the same for the past month and a half. The top 4 has been. But Jaden Quaintance and Kingston Flemings, get familiar with them, especially Jaden. Actually, no, even Kingston. He's been rising up the boards, but those two dudes right here, I think they'll fit here like a glove as well. This draft is so, like, we know how imperative it is for us in our future, but this draft is filled with players who would come in here and it's like the perfect match of BPA meeting need. This draft is going to give us that. It's going to give us between that in the middle. BPA meets need. You know what I mean? Any of these top 6 players would fit here, will fit a need, and it'll also be BPA, depending on what we're picking with Will Dawkins. And that's freaking awesome, man. Awesome. And like, I feel like some of y'all I want to reiterate this. The lowest we can go, last year we had the second worst record, and the lowest we could have had was number 6. Right now, we have the second worst record. Things can change. But right now, the lowest we can go is number 6. So if it guarantees me one of these 6 dudes, I'm happy. Obviously, I want top 3. We deserve top 3, obviously, you know. But that's just how it is right now so far, man. I'm super excited. Locked On Wizards dropped a video yesterday, and it was a really nice video. Shout out to Locked On Wizards. And they're regarding about if we are a top 3 pick away from the playoffs. I like to say no, but only because of our age. How, you know, damn, we're already at the 27-minute mark. Let me try to hurry up. But only because of our age and our inexperience. But if we do get a top 3 pick, I'd expect us to win more than 30 games. But that's just with the draft. Now, if we get Isaiah Hartenstein or a defensive anchor behind Sarr or a guy who can play with Sarr, I want my Steven Adams there this year. I'm sorry. I want my Steven Adams. You know what I mean? I need my Hartenstein type player this year. And if we get that, plus a top 3 pick, and then we're banking on a year 3 leap again from our Bub Carrington, Sarr, George draft class, Balak Coulibaly hopefully takes a leap. Trey Johnson takes a leap as well. I can see Trey Johnson easily averaging 20-plus points next year. As of next year. Oh, yeah, we better win more than 30 games. With that, we could possibly push 40. I don't know. Maybe 38. I don't know. But it's going to be super exciting. And the only thing that will hold us back is obviously our inexperience. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing. The coach. It depends also who we get as a coach. I'd like to think Coach Keefe's not going to be here after this year. But if we get our long-term coach, looking like a guy like Taylor Jenkins maybe. I've been tossing out Sam Cassell's name a lot. You know what I mean? We improve in that department as well. We're off and running. And then by the year after that, in 2 years from now, I'd expect us to at least make a playoff push. But it's super exciting, y'all. Anyways, 7, they got Koa Pete. 8, another guy, Labaron Philon. I feel like I'm saying his last name wrong. Another guy who I'd be interested in too. But right now, Kingston Flemings is my number 1 guy besides Peterson. Damn, Young Mill. I wouldn't be surprised if we signed Keefe to a 1-year extension as a prove-it deal. Bruh. I don't know about that, man. What does he have to prove? I hope. I mean, I, I respect your take, but I'd be upset at that. Honestly, I'd be upset at that. As a prove it deal, he he's proved to me that he's a really good tank commander these past 2 years. That's what he's like. I'm not trying to throw shade at Coach Keefe, but this, I don't know. Um, 8, and then Mikael Brown Jr. goes number 9 here for all the Mikael Brown Jr. stands. The thing that's holding him back right now is that he is shooting 26.4% on jump shots. But, saying here he continues to fire away without hesitation. He clearly has the ability to catch fire, and his handle and quickness help earn him uncontested layups, trips to the free throw line, and assist opportunities. I like Mikael Brown Jr. I really do. But just going off based off both him and Kingston Fleming have played recently, I think it's take bias out of it. As much as I like Mikael, you have to admit Kingston Fleming's right now is playing much better and should go higher in the draft. They're saying here, Phylon was Trey's backcourt partner at Link Academy. They're boys. Hey, that's awesome to see. That's awesome to know. I think if we fall to 4, take Caleb Wilson and then trade up to draft Kingston Flemings. I was thinking that too, the Wiz Hoops Lab, but we'd have to give up a lot to get, not even Kingston Flemings. I would say like to get one of these 3 point guards, Mikael Brown Jr., Wilson. I mean, not Wilson. Kingston and Phylon. I feel like I'm saying his last name wrong. My apologies to the Labaron. Phylon. I don't know. They're saying here, yeah. So that's where Mikael Brown Jr. is right now. But like I said, things can change, man. When the tournament comes around, whoever balls in there, They're saying here, Abida said also, but also he's supposed to tank the last 2 years, so it takes away from the actual coaching and development. We'll see. Darius A. Cuff right here. Stephon Marbury, comparing him there. I'm going to whiz through this because we're at the 32-minute mark, and I like keeping my streams 35 minutes or lower. So they have that. Darius A. Cuff going number 10. Thomas Hall, 11. Kareem Lopez, 12. Where's Nate Ament? Wow, Nate Ament has fallen. I saw him as a top 5. Thank you, LeBaron. My bad. I appreciate that, Zorro. Nate Ament has fallen. They compared to Zachary Risache. I saw him as a top 5 early on. See, this is like a clear indicator of how things can change, y'all. And I'm not a draft expert. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I predominantly just watch the NBA. I only watch I refer to experts with this one, with these type of, takes. But from what I saw earlier, a lot of people were going to have Nate Ament, and he was highly touted coming out too, a top 5, but he has fallen. Down shooting 37.4% from the floor. He has been brutal, trying to finish around the rim without strength or explosion. I can definitely see that Richard Shear comparison with this one right here with that statement. Yeah, I'm not interested in Nate Ament. See, the thing about Nate is just he's not because he's also a 3, but Dybantsa and his play style fits our need. Powerhouse who collapses the defense, gravity player. Ament's never that. I believe he's supposed to be a shooter, and because of that, I don't want. You know what I mean? I don't want, obviously we can use shooters, but in this draft class, I never was interested in Nate Ament solely because of that, because he wouldn't fit a need in as well. Anyways, saying not sure why he was ever high on the boards. Da, 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 da. I mean, a 6'10 wing, 207. shooter. I think that's the main reason why. So let me just quick. Lockdown Law has a good point, and this is what I'm going to talk about next. It says right here, Chicago Bulls, some German dude, Cameron Carr. Let's go to our second. Let's go to our second first round pick. Remember, we got a pick number 30 as of right now, and most likely going to be pick 30 because we have the Thunder first round pick. Most likely going to be the Thunder, and they have us taking Zubi Ejiofor, pick number 30, via OKC. This is a 6'9" power forward center, 245 pounds. Pretty much a guy who's like a big body, could get rebounds, defensive role, play finishing. But let me get to this Lockdown Law comment right here, because I was thinking this as well. If we get wrecked in the lottery, what I mean by wrecked is we pick 7 or even, 7 or 8. If we get wrecked, remember it's top 8 protected, and we're missing out on any of the top 6 dudes, considering we have pick number 30, we got multiple second round picks. I'd like to think we're going to get more draft assets at the trade deadline. I like to think that. What I would do, and how Lockdown Law mentioned, I will get all my chips, put it on the table, and ensure me we get one of the top 6 guys, ideally Caleb Wilson. And I feel like we've seen that with, Will Dawkins. Very aggressive. Traded up to Keyshawn George. Balak Coulibaly. Liked Bub Carrington enough. Denny Avdia trade. Damn near traded for Ace Bailey last year. Moved up one spot. I think he'll do that as well. Young Mill, I agree with you. Top 3, we deserve top 3. You know what I mean? But if we get scorned, we're picking 6, 7. I'm putting all my chips in the table, all my assets, and I'm saying, all right, how far can I go up with this? I'm doing that too. Not only in this draft class, we also have multiple draft assets in the future. We have the first round pick from the Blazers in 2029. We got pick swaps, whatever it takes. Because you know what, y'all, this should be our last lottery pick. This should be our last lottery pick. So go out with a bang. Get yourself a franchise type player or somebody that you highly covet. Go out with a bang. So that's what I would do, y'all. If we get scorned, fuck it. Put all our assets together, move up, and at least get Caleb Wilson. Make sure we include Malachi in that deal because I'm tired of seeing him play more than one. Hey, yo, you've been on that Malachi train for a bit. I hear you, though. I was mad at Coach Keefe for not playing Watkins as much against the Suns, and especially in the second half. I was pissed at that, to be honest with you. But, yeah, that's what I would do, y'all. That is what I would do. Because if we are in a lottery again next year, something went horribly wrong. Lockdown Law says, I'd be okay with them tanking one more year. I know most fans would not. To be honest with you, I got to disagree here, respectfully. And here's why. I don't think Ted Leonsis is going to want to wait one more year, y'all. I don't think Ted Leonsis is going to want to wait. We've been rebuilding, honestly, since freaking 2017. Oh, no. I retract that statement. The first lottery pick of this regime was Balak Coulibaly in 2023. We should have been rebuilding since 2020 or 2019 when we should have traded Bradley Beal. But, Ted Leonsis was delusional. Didn't want to rebuild. But, since 2023, that will be 3 years. Well, no, it'll be 4 drafts. 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. That's 4 drafts that Ted Leonsis would have given Will Dawkins to Cook. You know what I mean? So I really don't see Ted Leonsis wanting to wait. I think he's going to push Will Dawkins. I think Will Dawkins himself, for his own job security, even though we all love Will Dawkins, or for most of us do, he's going to want to get a free agent, especially because we have a lot of cap space. We have a cap floor that we have to reach as well. You know what I mean? I think he's going to go all in on ideally a backup big. But I don't know. I feel like the only reason if we were to get in lottery is because it wouldn't be because of our talent. I mean, it would be because of our inexperience, y'all. Lockdown Law says Leonsis is a dude who signed a Wash, Jagger, and Michael Jordan. He can take all the seats when it comes to the management. I don't know. There's enough talent with a good coach, a PG, and no limits on our players next year. Yeah, man. Like, you got to think about it this way. Trey Johnson's going to, like, with the way he's playing, I can see him averaging 20-plus points as of next year. We saw Keyshawn George and Alex Sarr already take a leap this year. They're going to take another leap next year. Bob Carrington as well. You know what I mean? Will Riley's going to improve. You know, if we're in a lottery again next year, it would indicate to me that our young Bucks didn't take a big enough leap as they should have, which would be a bit worrisome. A bit worrisome. I will admit, you know, a leap into at least winning basketball. So I don't know. I'm in that camp where I think they're gonna make a free agent splash. Not a splash, but like they're gonna sign a big free agent. Not a big name free agent. My bad. They're gonna give a free agent a big contract, maybe a 1 year, 2 year deal max. I was thinking about this too. Porzingis is a free agent. Would y'all want Porzingis back? Maybe Porzingis coming off the bench. I don't know if he want to come off the bench, but we pay him a big contract just to meet the cap floor because we need to meet the cap floor. You know what I mean? We talked about Mitchell Robinson, but that's where I'm at, y'all. That's where I'm at. The Wiz Hoops Loud says no. I'm assuming no to Porzingis. No Tingus. Yeah, 200. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's his main thing. That's his main thing. Even though he was really solid here, y'all, I will admit. This sounds like someone trying to get a 7 or 11 on the first roll. Yeah, I think they're gonna go heavily after. If Hartenstein's available, I think he's gonna be the number one guy on their board for free agent. No, he only said that because he's a free agent, though. Lockdown Law. This team showed their growth from rookie year to sophomore year. I think they will do the same if they make it to playing. They won't be happy just getting there like previous teams. Yeah, and to be honest with you guys, like I think some of you guys were stating earlier that you guys wouldn't be satisfied with the play-in team next year or something like that, or in the near future. But that's just the step into becoming perennial playoff team. You know, you don't go in from being like the worst or one of the worst teams in the league to being like the 5th or 4th seed. I mean, it happens, but you take baby steps. And the next baby step would be, hopefully, being somewhere around the play-in team. And then our young Bucks continue to develop. And then the next step would be after that, a perennial playoff team. A 4-5 seed, and then after that, hopefully, you know, a top seed in the East, like, you know. So that's what I mean regarding this, you know, these gradual steps that we need to see or take. So that's why I keep thinking to myself, like, if we are in the lottery again next year, something might have gone wrong. Like, especially the development of our young Bucks, something went wrong. Or okay, maybe if we were in the back end of the lottery, okay, yeah, I'll take 10 to 13, I agree with that. But I mean, like, if we are like in the top 5 again, something went wrong. And while I am very high and bullish on our young bucks and Will Dawkins as our GM, it would be a bit worrisome. You have to remember that we had a team a lot more talented than this one that crashed out in the playoffs. Yeah, but we're not talking about the talent as of right now. I mean, like, we have the players, but we have to factor in that they're also improving their games. Like, this is not going to be them in a couple years from now. Like, we expect Alex Sarr to be a perennial all-star. He already is an elite rim protector. Like, Trey Johnson to be that scoring hub. You know, I'm mostly talking about, like, banking on their growth and for them to meet their potential that we're all glazing right now. But I hear you, though. But that's where I'm at, y'all. I definitely agree with y'all's sentiment to trade the hell up if we get scorned in the draft. Trade up. Because in my thinking, this hopefully is our last top lottery pick. Base Maryland says, we will be team's nightmare next season. We are actually trying to win next year. I agree. And I'm not saying we're going to try to win 45 games. No. I'm expecting 30 plus, mid 30s, hopefully. Think about it. We have Sarr, who we all think is going to be a perennial all-star. We see the same with Trey Johnson. That's 2 stars right there. Hopefully, if everything works well, which things are looking like it's going to be. We have a guy in Keyshawn George who has perhaps even all-star potential himself. If he becomes selfish, I can see it. Some of us see that as well. So that's 3 all-stars perhaps. We have some nice rotational young players around him as well with, a guy like Bob Carrington, Will Riley, Bilal Coulibaly, Cam Whitmore. Don't forget about Cam Whitmore. Champagny. Jameer Watkins, perhaps. We got 2 first-round picks coming in this year. And then perhaps we get a guy who is, a superstar. Like Young Mel beat me to it. Get us a franchise superstar. Now, that's the main question. Is any of our guys right now, especially Trey Johnson or Alex Sarr, that franchise player, like franchise superstar player? Can any of them possibly be it? I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. Myself, I can see Trey Johnson getting us 25 plus a night once he reaches his prime. Is that superstar status? I can see it. Y'all. I can see it. But these top 3 dudes all have that potential. Especially Peterson and Dybantsa, and Boozer too. And then even Caleb Wilson has another all-star potential. So I think that's the main question that Young Mill hit it. We have guys who are potential stars already currently on our roster. Can any of them be that bona fide franchise superstar? That alpha? I like to think Trey Johnson could possibly be it. I don't know. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know. I want to see more roster construction around him, but I envision him reaching a ceiling and him getting us 25 a night. I can see him getting 25 a night, Trey Johnson, in a couple of years. You know what I mean? We need 2 bigs, another 3-and-D guy to pair with Jameer, and a top 3 pick to move the needle. Yeah, ideally the defensive anchor behind Sarr. I mean, we already have potential guys who are 3-and-D potential. I mean, we need to see more with Coulibaly, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now, y'all. But either way, I am really, really high on this team's future. But the main thing is just don't get freaking screwed in this lottery, man. It's so annoying. Slee says, if we don't get screwed in the lottery next year, we might just be contenders next year. Contenders for play-in? I don't know. All I'm going to say is We got guys who could possibly be all-stars on our roster already. We add in another blue chip type player here. We're off and running, y'all. Yeah, it might be a bit lofty, but we can be a threat. Yeah. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I'm super excited about this team, man. Like I said earlier, I've been watching these games religiously, probably all my life. But like, I was disenfranchised, not interested from 2020 to 2023 during the Bradley Beal Dark Ages. Now we're rebuilding. We have the second worst record in the league, but I haven't been this enamored, this bullish, this high on this squad's future. Not right now, the future. Since 2014, when we had young baby John Wall, baby Bradley Beal. I'm super excited, y'all. And you know what? This community is only going to grow, man. I'm not talking about just this channel's community. I'm talking about the Wizards community in general. We're going to see dudes coming back and being interested in the Wizards. It's exciting times, y'all. And the thing that gives me just a lot of solace is that we got a decision maker in Will Dawkins who is going to cook. He comes from that cloth, the OKC cloth, where everything he's done so far, especially in the draft, has had me uber impressed. Anyways, take care, everybody, for tonight. It is, man. It's the Bradley Beal Dark Ages, man. That's what it was. I was watching 40 games a year during that time. I couldn't. For what? They were lying to me. They were selling a product to me that was just BS. They were selling me a fraudulent product, saying, "Oh, look, we're gonna make the playoffs." We already knew coming into that season we're gonna be 1-out, first round exit, or a play-in team. It was so annoying. Young Mel says, I've been a fan since when the Bullets were at the Cap Center in Landover. I want to see us be real threats for once. Exactly. That's where I'm at right now. I wanna be a team where we're a perennial, deep playoff team, not a 1-and-out type player team. I want to be there. I can tell how young most fans are now by the fact that they think John Wall was good. You want to start some stuff in the chat, right, Locked On? Anyway, I want to be a team that's a perennial deep playoff team, man. I don't want to be a team that goes in for 2 years and it's out for 3 years. Nah, man. Anyways, I'm going to call it quits, y'all. Take care, everybody. This is a long-ass stream. Holy hell. The longest stream. Take care, everybody, for tonight. Happy New Year's to everybody. Hope you guys spend time with your family and friends. I will drop a video tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I got to go to church, man. I got to go to church. I got to go visit my family. I got to go visit my girlfriend. I'm going to be out and about, boy. So, not tonight. Tomorrow, a video on New Year's, our New Year's goals for the Wizards, in my opinion. Our New Year's goals tomorrow, that'll be the video topic for next year, which is tomorrow, which is crazy. But that will be the topic out there. But yeah, if you enjoyed the stream, please give this stream a thumbs up. Holy hell, do y'all like these long streams? I've been yapping for 53 minutes. What's going on? That's crazy. Anyways, take care, everybody. Happy New Year's to the Wizards fam, Wizards community. Stay safe, everybody. Get lit. No, Locked On Law hit it right. He said, don't drink and think. Drink and think. Drink, have fun, y'all. Take care, but most importantly, be safe, everybody. Be safe. Happy New Year's, and I'll see y'all tomorrow in the video.